I'm gonna start recording. Cool. Let's get it.
All right, guys. So welcome again to another Sunday Market Blitz. We're just going to get right into it, rip through all these pairs, see what the market has for us this week. All right. So starting off, DXY, lovely US dollar. So we're just going to take a look at this, see what's going on. Kind of do a part of a top-down analysis here. I always start on the daily, work my way down. And I do this because I just want to make sure of the trend. I want to see where price lies within that trend. And if, we need to make some, changes here and there. But again, on the daily time frame, zoom out. We did a full analysis. We highlighted this ascending channel. DXY was bullish for a very long time. Then Corona happened. Then it went sideways. Then the market priced in all the events and the dollar tanked, right? So we broke through major levels. We got a weekly break of structure here. So that means a weekly change of trend from bullish, because there's an ascending channel here, to bearish, right? We broke these higher lows. So we're now bearish on the weekly. And we had a daily break here. These are daily higher lows. So that happened first, then the weekly. And then we got a drop all the way down towards our monthly zone and supporting trend line all the way down here around 92 flat. So we can see on this time frame that we have a bit of consolidation and a little structure forming here. So let's drop down, get a closer look at what's going on here. All right, so we're going to the 4 hour, just dropping one time frame lower, getting a closer look at what's going on here. So here was that drop down to 92. Just kind of choppy. We're getting some higher lows, some false breakouts, right? Nice little lower high here, break back below support, now testing as resistance. So essentially this is just, it's a little choppy, a little bit of consolidation, a little bit of consolidation here and there. So let's just try and identify potential trade scenarios. So what do we need to see? What do we need to see to happen to go short? What do we need to see to go long? Okay, so overall, we've highlighted our trend. So the weekly is bearish. As long as we remain below this daily zone, we're bearish on the daily. The 4 hours turning bullish. Okay, so according to this 4 hour, this is going to push up, right? So if we're going to continue with the 4 hour trend, we're looking to buy. So ideally, I want to see some sort of confirmed higher low, nice bullish setups, a nice bullish engulfing, something like that, something with conviction that's going to say to me, hey, this is going to make another push into this daily zone. So it's very likely it's going to get to this area if we do have the conviction, because this is our next level of significant resistance. So this is definitely an area to be aware of, this daily zone here. But yeah, if we just see some sort of higher low, I'm going to say this thing is going long with some good momentum there. So definitely long on the dollar for this week, especially as we remain above this 4 hour. Even if it consolidates above the 4 hour, it's still bullish until the zone is broken. Okay, so it's pushing up. That's where we're at on DXY. What needs to happen for us to consider a bearish bias, right? Bearish trend. We need to see a break back below this 4 hour, some sort of confirmed lower high, ideally breaking through these MAs, retesting them with plenty of rejection, nice bearish setups, and that would be our conviction saying that this is going to drop lower. We're going to target lower towards major support levels, this ascending trend line, and so on. All right, but until that break happens, DXY is long, guys. DXY is bullish right now. And if you notice, we just got a gap, nice little bullish gap here. All right, so let's move on to our first pair, AU. And we're going to do pretty much the same approach. I'm going to take you guys to the daily time frame, just get an overall look at what's going on here. So we were very bearish for a while. If we look to the left, our significant level was this weekly, or this monthly zone, I'm sorry. We broke through it, tested as resistance once, twice, huge drop from Corona, then a huge correction in price action here. Nice rally, shot all the way back up to this monthly zone right here. Consolidated, gave us a little pattern, and then broke through it. So because this was a weekly lower high, when on this break here, this was a weekly break of structure. So this was then confirmed bullish on the weekly time frame. Okay, so we had this nice ascending channel here. The weekly trend continued, and then it started to get choppy. We got our first lower high, and then price action fell out. So I'm going to go ahead and drop down to the 4 hour on this bit of price action so we can get a closer look. I'm going to drop down right here. This was that initial break of this weekly zone, monthly zone, weekly break of structure, pushed through it. Here's that ascending channel. And then we got a pullback. So as this channel started to fail, we got all this chop. This became a lower high. Then we had a nice break out of that channel and through this daily higher low. So that's our first break of structure, a daily. So now we're bearish on the daily, bullish on the weekly. So price action drops to test the zone, comes back, test the daily, provides more chop, just going sideways, sideways, sideways. And then we get a lower high right here. So we had a nice push through this zone, 0715, pushes back to test the monthly again, comes back up. There's a bit of an ascending wedge here. So that failed, gave us a lower high, rejected off this 7-1 handle, and then dropped. So we got a 4-hour break of structure there. So we're bullish on the weekly, bearish on the daily, bearish on the 4-hour. But now we just see price action resting right at this zone. So we have a couple scenarios that we can see here, and there's a couple ways that this could play out. So first, we want to ride the trend, right? That's the first thing we want to do. Stick with the overall trend, which is clearly very bearish. So we can see that there's two bearish scenarios. We got a nice bearish engulf in there. That's a good sign. But we're either going to get a pullback through the MAs, test this 4-hour zone, or we're going to blow right through this support and then get a lower high. Ideally, I would like a pullback. I would really like a pullback through these MAs, nice confirmed lower high, then bearish setups pushing back through the MAs, enter on that confirmation. That would be perfect for me. But, this is always a good trade too. This is just a little more conservative. Just wait for the break, retest, enter on a lower high, and then target lower towards significant support. This is where you could jump up to a higher time frame to then find your targets. Key zone right here, 068. Likely that price action could get there. Also, the 200 EMA should be a target as well. All right, so that's definitely what we're looking at right now on AU. This is really the last line of defense for this pair. If it breaks, man, this thing could really drop and fall back into that overall higher time frame, bearish trend. I mean, if we're on here on the weekly, you can just see. I mean, it's pretty much bearish on the weekly here. If we see this as a lower high, this is meeting it. We did get a break here, but I mean, if it does drop, guys, this could really fall. So we'll see. We are also seeing an MA cross on the weekly here. Look at that, guys. We could see this cross, gain even more confirmation as we get lower. So we'll see. I mean, this thing is definitely looking interesting. It's in a sweet spot. So we're looking at shorts first and foremost. All right. So let's go ahead and consider a long opportunity for a second. What needs to happen? Clearly, we're very bearish, so we need to get through all these lower highs, and then we need to see some serious higher lows above significant resistance levels. So first being 715, higher low above that would be nice, like that, and then also a higher low above our daily structure. And then we can start looking at long opportunities, targeting higher towards key resistance, prior highs, and so on. All right, but definitely looking short on AU right now. And this also lines up very well with the XY, because again, this is a AUD USD. So as the dollar rallies, you'll see AU start to slide off. Okay, so this broke into a new zone. If this keeps climbing higher, you'll see AU break lower into a new zone, start dropping lower and lower. All right. Next, we got AJ. Very similar to AU. We got a couple potential scenarios. Overall, very bearish. Let's jump right to the daily time frame, see what we're looking at. Nice ascending channel, clearly very bearish. We broke through major support at this monthly zone, tested as resistance a couple times, then Corona hit. Then we got a huge corrective structure here, just like we saw in AU. And then we hit a wall, or a ceiling rather, right at this daily zone. So we were making some higher highs, here, higher lows. Didn't really have the conviction, didn't give us the higher low where we needed it above this monthly to then continue long. Didn't happen, gave us a lower high instead, and then started pushing lower. So let's go ahead and zoom in on this bit of price action. Okay, here was that false break. Didn't have the conviction to keep going. So it gave us this lower high. This final higher low was broken. Daily break of structure. Started pushing lower. It dropped all the way into a weekly break of structure. Came back up, hit the daily again. So very much like AU, guys. Very similar, very correlated. But then it hit this daily structure, then dropped, blew through this 4-hour higher low here. That's our 4-hour break of structure. So the daily is bearish, the 4 hours bearish, 1 hour is bearish, and now the weekly is bearish. Okay, so this thing is looking short all around. Okay, we're in a pretty good spot right now. I like that there's consolidation happening right here, but I want to wait for an MA pullback. If I get price action to come back up, test this weekly zone, MA pullback, then it reverses with nice rejection, nice MA cross on some bearish setups. That would be a really, really nice trade. It would look something like this, guys. Something like this. And then we're targeting lower towards major support levels. You go on your daily, you can pick your target from there. This level right here looks pretty good. I'm sorry, where is it? Over here, 725. That looks like a good zone to start. All right,
Yeah, this thing could definitely pull back a little bit.
something like that. Yeah, so that would be a really nice trade, guys. But right now we're only looking at shorts. I mean, there's no bullish momentum here. So for us to consider a long opportunity, we need to see some higher lows above some major resistance levels, like this 4-hour here. If this happened, then I would start considering some longs maybe. Target the top of this range, this daily zone, and then reanalyze, as we either break or bounce from this zone. So we'll see if that happens, and we'll adapt our analysis accordingly. But as of right now, definitely super bearish, guys. Could catch a nice quick little trade later tonight as the volume picks up in the Asian and Australian session. All right, so keep an eye on AJ. I mean, it is AJ, so this thing moves pretty freaking crazy. This last drop alone was 150, so we'll keep an eye on it. But that's AJ. Let's move on to UJ. Got a couple more for you guys. Daily time frame to start on UJ. Overall, super bearish, guys. I mean, we have this giant descending triangle pattern, key support at 105. We've kind of been stalking this one for months, it feels like at this point. But we're still waiting for that break. Still waiting for the break of that pattern, break of 104.5, and off to new lows. So we'll see. But let's zoom in a little bit more. This is the very end of this giant descending triangle. We are getting lower lows and lower highs here. So we recently broke this major support level at our weekly, broke through it, tested 104.5, came back, gave us a lower high, rejected the weekly, and then tested 104 again, new lower high, and so on and so on. So let's drop down to the 4-hour, get a closer look at this price action forming right here, and see what we could find as far as trade scenarios go. So, all right, so let's zoom out a little bit here. So as you can see, here's 104.5, lower high, lower high, lower high. Okay, rejection off 106. Nice little head and shoulders pattern. Right shoulder, price action dropped, blew through this 4-hour high or low. So that's a 4-hour break of structure. Again, still testing off that 104.5 handle. Just adjust that as you guys can see here. Tested it again, came back up, nearly tested this 4-hour break, caught some wicks over here to the left. So, still respected that zone, pulled back through the MAs, gave us a bearish engulfing, crossed through the MAs again, and then finally blew through 104, but it didn't give us a lower high below that. Instead, it's rejecting off this 1-hour break of structure because this was a 1-hour high or low right here. So it broke through it. Now it tested it twice, and we are currently seeing a double top. So this is price action's in a very interesting spot because, I mean, it could so easily flip. We really just have to make sure that we see the right confirmations to enter here. So conservatively, the trade we want to enter in first is going to be with the trend, just riding this bearish momentum here. Really want to see a lower high below these MAs and below 104.5 finally, right? If we finally see that lower high, good rejection, enter on a bearish setup, and then target lower into negative fib levels, and then of course, significant support levels on higher time frames. So this could be one hell of a trade. I mean, we'll see, but I mean, we do see DXY going bullish right now, so maybe this isn't going to play out that soon. But either way, this is a potential scenario right there, over 2-to-1, looking good. But what needs to happen for us to start looking at long opportunities? Pretty much a higher low to start, a higher low above this 1-hour level. You could take a nice little aggressive entry on this break and retest, target the 4-hour, and then pretty much the same thing. As we domino through these, higher time frame zones, like the 1-hour, then the 4-hour, then the daily, the more significant the move. So if we see a break of the 1-hour first, we can enter on that, then look for a break of the 4-hour. Maybe reduce risk on the 1-hour setup because it's a little more riskier. You're catching that first initial break of a trend, so we're not really sure it's confirmed yet. But maybe you could take a reduced position there, add a full position here on the 4-hour, and just trade it accordingly, you know, as it's breaking through zones, as it's changing the trend throughout the time frames. But until that happens, guys, you know, we're looking at shorts. This thing really needs to make some serious bullish moves here to get us to buy it. Right?
Yeah,
But
like on the lower time frame on this, don't take any shorts until it breaks the 30-minute, the 200 day.
yeah.
Yeah, so as it moves lower.
So on the 30-minute, so yeah, that's a great rule. Great rule. Pretty much the zone that we just had highlighted right at 1045. Until we see a break of this, the 200's right there, lines up well, good confluence there. Until we see a break of that 200, right, or this 1045 handle, pretty much this whole zone right here.
Mm-hmm.
Until we see a break of this.
Yeah, once it breaks below there, then either on the breakout short or on the retest short.
Let me hit the one. Yeah, there we go. All right, so this is still very much in effect, guys. Nice break, retest, enter on rejection, bearish setup, and then target lower. All right, so be patient on it. Be patient. Again, this is, you know, I said it could go either way here because, like, if we get a higher low and then some volume stepping into the upside or downside, just wait on it. Wait for the confirmations. Be patient. Wait for 1 hour and 30-minute closure. Don't just jump in on some volume, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's certainly bullish at the moment, but we're looking for the overall bearish.
Right. So
Overall bearish
it's bullish on the 1 hour, right? So like it's popping above, guys, and this bearish candle is only covering half, but the 200 EMA is right there. So come back to the 4 hour. What does that look like? We see a little bit of a wick. That was that 1 hour bearish candle creeping back down to test this level. So we have 40 minutes on the 4 hour. We want to see this wick not be there, right? We want to see this candle be more full. And then we could say that it's clearly broken. We could be seeing some long opportunities presenting themselves. All right. So just be aware of that, guys. Always check closure timing. Always utilize the 4 hour, 1 hour, 30-minute closure times. Be aware of these wicks. Don't get tripped up by the market. Just be patient. All right. Looking pretty good though. I mean, UJ's definitely got something forming right now. So we'll be ready for whichever way it goes. Definitely, according to DXY anyway, it's looking pretty bullish. Okay. Let's wrap up. I got EJ in gold, and then I'm gonna pass it off to Angelo. So EJ to start. Crazy movement lately, but let's go to the daily time frame. If we look left here, huge descending channel, guys. I mean, this is just perfect. Lower lows, lower highs, huge swings on EJ. So that bearish trend that we just looked at finally ended once price action erased this lower high here, which was on this rally. Then we got a higher low, and then bullish momentum resumed. So weekly time frame is bullish, right? It's weekly higher low, weekly higher high. Okay, so this is very much bullish as long as price action remains above 120, 120, pretty much 120.5. Okay, so we had a huge rally into our monthly zone, nice slow reversal. We got 3 peaks, lower high was printed. Then we got a daily break as this was a daily higher low. So let's go ahead, zoom in, drop to the 4 hour, get a closer look at this price action and see what we could identify. Here is that 3 peak reversal that we just talked about. Nice little lower high, broke this daily higher low. So now we had a daily break of structure. Perfect. Weekly is bullish, daily is bearish. This was a 61.8 fib level that price action pulled back to. Found some rejection there. Buyer stepped in. Price action came back and tested this daily zone twice, and then gave us a lower high, dropped, blew through this 4 hour higher low here. So it's a 4 hour break. So just again, weekly is bullish, daily is bearish, 4 hours bearish. So we're going to look for shorts, guys. That's our most favorable trade right now. We're looking for short opportunities first until we see, you know, bullish momentum that's going to change the trend. You know, we're just going to ride the trend in this scenario. So one scenario that I really like on EJ would be a pullback here through the MAs, consolidation, flag, pattern, whatever, it doesn't matter. I just want to see a pullback through these MAs, some sort of consolidation, rejection to form structure, and then we're going to enter on a bearish setup, crossing back through the MAs. So like this would be a nice trade here. Target lower into our weekly zone. This could probably be even a tighter stop, something like this, probably even 50. We'll see how it forms, but we're pretty much going to be pretty close to the 38 too, as long as we see the right confirmations. But yeah, I mean, this is what it's looking like. 2-to-1 at least. You guys could probably work it even better. But yeah, I mean, this would be a really nice short. The closer that price action pulls back to this 4-hour and then drops, the better your risk to reward will be. Okay, so something like that. So we'll see. We'll see how this plays out, but we're definitely looking at shorts on EJ. Nothing but right now. Nice pullback to confirm structure, and then we're short all day long. Looking about 200 pips if we get in closer to the 50%. All right, so that's the bearish scenario for EJ. What needs to happen for us to consider long scenarios? At least a higher low above this 4-hour. So we need to see a re-break back into this little range between this 4-hour and this daily. Some sort of higher low you could take a buy on. It would be a little risky. Again, I don't recommend trading ranges, but I mean, you could take a nice little long opportunity. I mean, this is EJ we're talking about. So yeah, over 150 pips just on this range. So definitely could be some nice profit to be made in there. And then for further management on this trade, again, if it breaks the daily, just keep playing off those higher lows, keep entering on those higher lows with nice bullish setups. And yeah, all right. But until we see that bullish momentum step in, guys, we're bearish all day long. Okay. As long as we remain below this 4-hour, I will stay confidently bearish on EJ. All right, let's jump over to gold. This is our last one for me anyway. Daily time frame to start. Overall, super bullish, guys. Probably the most bullish thing you're going to see tonight. Super bullish. When we broke 1800 here, this was a nice psychological level. It's kind of fighting this handle for a while, 1750, then 1800. And then it rallied right to 2070. Pulled back, gave us a descending triangle, tons of lower highs. Nice support being in 1930, as we have labeled, which were also daily higher lows. So when that broke, we got a daily transition from bullish to bearish. So let's drop down on that. Take a look at this little bit of price action here on the 4-hour. Zoom out a little. Okay, here's that descending triangle, tons of lower highs. Here's that daily transition, right at 1930. Price action dropped. This was a 61.8 fib level. Reverse on that. Came back up, tested the daily twice, and then just kind of went sideways for a while, and then finally just got a huge drop right down to our 4-hour zone, where price action is currently resting. I mean, it broke the 4-hour, but it didn't confirm the break because you need to see a lower high to confirm the break. It actually shot through it, gave us huge exhaustion, pulled right back through, and now again is just kind of consolidating right here. So we do have a couple trade scenarios. We are looking bearish first. We're looking to short this thing first because clearly huge amount of bearish momentum. And then again, this daily trend is bearish here as well. So we're definitely looking at shorts, but we still need to see a couple more confirmations. First thing we want to see is that freaking lower high below this 4-hour. You want to see a lower high like this, some sort of rejection off the 4-hour, but again, with a lot more conviction. So without these bottom wicks, just more bearish volume, something with a little more conviction. That's what we want to see here. We could enter on that. Nice bearish setup. Stop loss outside the 4-hour. And then we're targeting lower towards negative fib levels. And then, our weekly zone all the way down here at pretty much 1825. So that could be a really nice short, guys. So we'll see how this plays out. I mean, if DXY keeps rallying, keeps going to new highs, this could definitely drop out of this little range here and do new lows on this time frame at least. All right, so that's gold. Looking for those shorts. For us to consider buy opportunities, I want to see a higher low, at least above this 1-hour zone. Right above, closer, a higher low above 1900 would be really nice to see. And then I would feel confident taking longs off that. All right, and that would be for the top half of this range. Again, guys, I always recommend waiting for a break of a range like this, higher low to go long. But again, until we see a break of this 1-hour first, we're definitely short. Definitely looking at shorts on gold this week. All right, so those are the pairs I prepared for you guys. Quick recap: DXY looking bullish, AU looking bearish, AJ bearish, UJ could be bullish if it's in line with DXY. We'll see. EJ looking bearish, gold bearish as well. All right, so I'm going to pass this off to Angelo. Thank you, guys, and he's going to cover some more pairs.
Yeah, no, that was solid. I'm gonna go ahead and share up. No, all right,
My
cool.
pleasure, guys. Happy to provide some analysis.
Yeah, we had. Let's see. I believe we had a question here. Which is right? Wait till candle close. Yeah, always wait till candle close, guys. When you're waiting on like the 30-minute, on the 1 hour, even down to the 15-minute, wait for candle close. Do you think election will affect trades? I mean, I'm gonna pull up real quick. We've got a lot of news this week. Each day we've got multiple high volume folders coming in for different pairs. So, the election, as you can see here, is definitely going to be a big event. I'm not too sure how volatile it will be for the week. We'll have to see what the result is, what the outcome is of it. Depending on who wins and whatnot, and then what takes place afterwards in the country and everything. So, but I can imagine there's going to be some volume coming in. But I would say business as usual. Trump or Biden. I mean, we'll see. See what happens out here.
Trump about it.
Trump or Biden.
Putin.
Putin, yeah. Putin's no matter who wins, Putin wins. Yeah, pretty decent. Kanye, yeah. What else do we have this week? It's gonna be crazy. What up, what up? All right, cool. So I'm gonna hop in first, guys. For you people in the Discord chat, most of you should be. All of our analysis that we're going over is posted in here. It's all free. And like Nick said, it's also in Telegram. So if you guys wanted to pop into our Telegram and check that out as well, we're gonna be bringing some updates tomorrow. We're also doing a free live webinar. So if you guys want to get in on that, it's completely free. We're gonna go over some topics that you guys voted on at the end of last week. If I could find it here. So some topics you guys, it seems as though the main one you guys want to focus on is entries. And we've also got some for market structure, and we've also got some for risk management. So we're gonna prepare some for you guys, and we'll do a session on that. It'll be completely free, and it'll be on tomorrow. Tomorrow it'll be at either 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. Just look in the chat. I think it said 6 p.m. So 6 p.m. Tomorrow if you guys want to get on that. So let's hop back into the analysis. I'm gonna do all the major pairs here. Nick covered a lot of the exotic pairs or minor pairs, and he did what AU and UJ.
I did a lot of the JPY pairs. I did DXY, AU, AJ, UJ, EJ, and gold.
Yes, sir. All right, so I'm gonna get started with NU here. So NU, let's bump up all the way to the monthly time frame. So I've got my monthly and weekly levels placed here. As we can see, my upper zones up here, my lower zones down here. So we're sort of in the middle of these two zones right now. Who you vote for? We voted for Kanye. That's what we voted for right here. So I'm right in the middle of these two zones right now. So don't have these two as confirmation. As we can see, the moving averages on this time frame have crossed, so more buyers than sellers have stepped in. This is forming some sort of like higher low point right now, but we are still below this resistance. As I come down to the weekly, we have this resistance level. We have this lower high that was formed, this lower low, this lower high, this lower low, then this lower high right here. So we are still below this resistance level that has been respected so many times. As we can see, the last time we popped up in this level, fell off again. So we do have the potential for more downside movement here. When would I enter on that? So as I'm cycling down time frames in the daily time frame was forming bullish structure, forming highs, higher low, higher low, higher high. Until this happened, we had this lower high form, pulled back, broke minor support, and then now we've just been struggling. And this is actually a 4-hour flag that we've been looking at on this. So we're within this 4-hour flag. Flags are more than not bearish continuation patterns, or just continuation patterns of whatever trend. So right now we're looking for this to head lower. I'm looking for this to head lower. This isn't exactly forming. On this 4-hour, this is forming a higher high, higher low, higher high. So I'm gonna go down to the 1-hour time frame. Pretty much as we can see, this 1 hour and below here is just very bearish. We're keeping in mind this trend line or this channel, the bottom of the channel. We need to break there. We've also got this 4-hour support. Considering this did make these higher lows, this is a significant support level. So this is how we're going to play this right now. We're going to sit on the 1-hour. Right now, 1-hour structure is very much bearish. And whenever this thing forms its next lower high, it needs to be something clean. Like this is a lot of volume coming in. I wouldn't exactly enter on something like this. There are confirmations there, but I would be a little bit more patient and try to get in on a little bit of a better high, lower high here. So we're going to wait for this to confirm. NU really needs to pop below this channel, needs to get below here, and then it needs to pull back. So I'm going to redraw this. It really needs to get below here and then some sort of lower high. So guys, we only enter on lower high points in the market, and what that means is we only enter on these pullbacks. So right here, pulled back, formed this lower high, dipped down, pulled back, formed this lower high, came up, retested these levels, formed this lower high. So we don't want to enter in on something that's choppy in here. We want to enter in an area that actually makes sense. So right now, the only thing that makes sense is to wait for another potential lower high, because we could enter right now all the way at this low, and it has all this room to pull up 80 pips or so where it can go higher. So we're just gonna wait on this one. So NU down on the 1-hour time frame, waiting for potential entries whenever this thing pulls back a little bit. Let's go over to GU. We'll bump up to the monthly time frame. So the thing with GU is we just rejected this weekly level with this. We had this monthly bearish engulfing with some exhaustion, and then we had this doji, and we're right above the moving averages. So this thing could potentially be finding some support right now at these levels. But as we've been playing this over and over again, we've just been looking for short opportunities. So, this weekly time frame, until these levels, these highs are broken, we're really still looking for short opportunities. Then down to this daily time frame, we just formed this lower high point, moving averages crossed. So everything below here is getting pretty bearish. Down to the 4-hour time frame, this is the level that we need to hold below. It's this 200-day right here. This lower time frame has been pulling back this lower high. So we need a break structure right here. As we see, we just gap down. And as we come to this 1-hour, this is where we can see things really the clearest. It's kind of lining up on multiple time frames. The 4-hour is right near support. So if this thing holds, it'll be a nice confirmation there. So right here on the 1-hour is just forming lower lows and lower highs. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Retest this high. Came down here. So this is where we're looking for potential entries. Really, if this thing starts to move lower, if this starts to point down, we could take entries on this very early. We could actually get on this trade tonight, maybe early tomorrow, something like that. If it starts to show more bearish price action, where I would enter would be right around this area. I would be putting stops like above this level, above the moving averages, right over here around like 50 pips. And then I would bump up to a higher time frame, and this is where we would start to pick our targets. Obviously we've got our fibs on here, so we're targeting this negative 27, but I would also look back just on this weekly time frame. Ultimately, guys, what we're looking to target is, yeah, these lows, but we're looking to see if we can catch this weekly move. Previously this thing dumped pretty far on this level. If it could dump again, that's obviously what we're targeting, but for now we would just target this level of support right near this 618. So let me come back down. Took our little short position off. So I would target right around this 618 level. And that would bring us right around 3-1 if we have 50 pip stop. So this is a potential trade earlier this week, that we could potentially see. If this thing breaks these levels, then this trade will be invalidated. So we'll update in the signals chat when this thing is ready. So that's GU, and that's going if USD does go bullish, if DXY does continue to be very bullish, then that trade would play out as expected. So let's go over now to USEF. Let's bump up to the weekly time frame. So I was looking on the weekly time frame on USEF. Pretty much, guys, we have this weekly level. We're at a bottom right now. And we just had this weekly bullish engulfing candle. So more buyers than sellers are stepping in, at least as of the last week. As I start to bump down to the daily, we can see the daily time frame moving averages are crossing over. So we're making some sort of higher low here. Things are pulling back down to the 4 hour. 4 hour. This is really what matters right now. I'm going to take this off, clean this up. We need to hold above this 200 day. We're breaking structure right now on the 4 hour. So I'm going to line this off right here. Have this level placed previously, but this is really what's going on. We are in a downtrend, 4 hour, nice structure on this time frame. We broke this level, broke above, retested, broke above. So where are we going to look for potential entries on this? One of two things. We could either wait on the 4 hour and catch this overall move, or we could bump down all the way to the 30-minute and we could try to continue to ride this bullish momentum. As we could see, this thing's forming higher highs and higher lows on this time frame right now, 30-minute, 1 hour. Pretty much either one you want to look at right now is bullish. So if we wanted to be very aggressive, basically what you would do is you would look at this and say, okay, this formed this high, pulled back to 38.2, and then we had this bullish engulfing here, this variation. Then we had this next pullback right here. So we're getting all this confirmation. This is a potential higher low. And then what would we target? First we would target this level just using the fibs, and then ultimately we'd be targeting that 618 up there. And again, this is just if we want to look to see and continue this bullish pressure right now. On the 4 hour, what's very likely to happen is it's likely to come up some more based on how this is forming in the beginning of the session here. It's likely to push up some more. And then ultimately, guys, when this thing does pull back, that's when there's going to be a really high probability opportunity to continue on with this trend. So right now would be some more intraday, looking to just continue straight up very bullish, looking to just continue this bullish trends. But for this week, going into like early this week, as the 4 hour starts to play out, we'll see if we get some sort of like flag or pullback, and then we'll target this level, this daily level up there. So USEF, regardless, we're either looking at long now or looking to wait and take long opportunities. So that's USEF. Let's go over to EU. This fucking pair last week stopped this by 1 pip and then dropped a million pips. Let's bump up to the monthly time frame. Swim to the monthly time frame. I mean, the good news is that our direction was okay. Our stop loss was a little tight, but it happens. So on this weekly time frame, pretty much what we're seeing right now is obviously this thing went bullish. We hit this weekly level. So bumping back up, we got our monthly level up here, weekly level here, monthly level here. Those things are being placed based on our 3 situations we talk about inside the course. So we've got our levels placed overall. As I bump down, as we can see, we had that monthly bearish engulfing candle. That was this price action. We came back up, rejected this level again last week, bearish engulfing candle. So last time we were at this level, guys, buyers stepped in and pushed this back up. We can see this is crossing, so this is a little more significant now that it happened again. And down to the daily, this is pretty much what we're looking for. This pair right now on the daily, is at a low. The lower high was up here, the potential lower high, potential entries, all that. So right now we're just at a low, 4 hour time frame. Same thing, guys. We're just at a low right now. So the only way that I would enter this without some sort of 4 hour pullback is if we move lower than this 1.6, like 300 level. This level right here, this zone, that's that support level. If we move lower than this zone and then retest and form another lower high similar to these, we could see right now in this 30-minute, we could see 30-minute trending very bearish, potential entries. We're all in these lower highs right here. We had a marked out from last week. So, potential entries would be right in there. So I'm not going to short again unless we get below this like main structure level right here. Let's bump back up just to visualize this again for you guys. So this is that daily right here. This is that support level that previously buyer stepped in and brought this all the way up to this level. So in order for me to sell again, we need to get below this at this point in time. So that's EU. We'll be patient on this. We'll look for something similar to this fall retest, fall retest. So we'll just look to get on that lower high. So that's EU. Let's bump over now to UCAD. Let's come up to the monthly time frame. All right, so monthly time frame on UCAD, not to get it confused here, but pretty much what I want to focus on is just our weekly and monthly levels. So we've got our monthly level up here, we've got our weekly level here. We're in the midst of this level. I'm looking for us at this point, considering how we moved off of this area, to come up and retest these highs right now. That looks like the next area that we could potentially grab sellers again. You can see the weekly time frame last week closed above the moving averages off the 200-day. So this thing, definitely was very bullish. But we can see how we have this right here. I had it marked on, just deleted it. We have this resistance level right here. And previously, when we came into this level, we fell off and sold. So down to the daily, this is pretty much how we're going to play it out. Down to the daily, we could see this higher low just formed. So we made this low, made this lower high. Then we made this higher low, moving averages crossed, everything like that. So below this daily time frame, 4 hour is bullish. 1 hour time frame is bullish. And we could see right now, like for example, this 1 hour time frame is forming a higher low right now. But that doesn't mean that we just buy just because it's forming a higher low. We're forming this higher low, and it was confirmed based on all of this, based on this, even based on this most recent candle pushing higher. So this is on this time frame. This is really structured for us on this 1 hour. So if this breaks, we're gonna bump up time frames. We're not gonna look at this time frame anymore because this will change our bias. But we're right on this 4 hour, or more on this daily time frame. We are right at this daily resistance that we just talked about. So why am I going to take buys so close to this level where this could come up into this level and just reject out of it really hard? So instead, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait for price to break above here. Once we get above this 1.33800 area, that's when I'll look for my next potential buy opportunities, my next higher low on this 1 hour time frame. And on the flip side, if this thing does break support, and you look at this daily, we start to break support on these at this high, this like bearish confluence area, then we could potentially take shorts on this. So two opportunities, two sides of the market. We're not going to marry one bias out here. We're going to just take the best trade. So that is UCAD. Let's bump over now to GJ. Let's bump up to the monthly time frame. All right, so monthly time frame on GJ, we had this fall off 2 months ago, a lot of buyers exhaustion here or sellers exhaustion, and then we had last month just closed with this doji. So we're obviously losing steam at this weekly support level. Down to the weekly, very much bearish overall. Just formed this lower high, moving averages crossed. But the support level right here is holding, so I'm keeping that in the back of my mind. But this time frame, very much bearish. Down to the daily time frame, just formed this lower high. So this time frame, again, very much bearish. Down to the 4 hour structure, very much bearish as well. Now, what we need to see here is we need to see some sort of pullback, unless we're starting to get aggressive based on this level. As we can see, if we just focus in on this push right here and look at the 30-minute, this 30-minute is just consistently bearish, consistently bearish, consistently bearish. And then we had this happen. This thing broke right here, made this new high, pulled back. We're making this potential higher low. We could even flip between the 30-minute and 1 hour. We could see, okay, that little minor there, not significant break of structure, but even so, this level has a lot of buyers at this level. So ideally, what we need is we either need to pop below here and really hold below this level, and then I'll start selling, when it gets below there. Or if this thing does pull back, we can simply look for, we have nice confluences up here. We got the 4 hour structure. We've got this 200-day. We've got the 38.2. So this would be a solid level to look for potential reversals at. So GJ overall is just very bearish. We're not going to sell until it gets below here, but we're staying ready on this. So again, everything I went over was GJ, NU, GU, USEF, EU, and UCAD. I'm going to drop all the analysis in the premium analysis during the week. So when we see, as we just talked about, like some opportunities on the lower time frames, we'll start to post them in here so you guys can get a look when we're looking to potentially enter on these pairs and everything like that. And this is the premium analysis. This is like the cheapest thing that we offer. It's just $7 one-time fee. So if you guys want to get in on that, we just pop over to this start here section, $7 one-time fee, and then yeah, so you guys can get on that. That's kind of the first step getting involved in the course. So I'm gonna get Nick unmuted here. That's gonna conclude the analysis for this week. If you guys want to ask any questions, feel free to write in the chat. We also have our little sale going on right now, and it's coming down to the last bit of it. We only did 10 spots. So I believe there's like 2 spots left on this. And yeah, I mean, the whole purpose of these live sessions, guys, is they're completely free. They're to teach you guys looking for entries, looking for your key levels, looking at market structure. We're using fibs. We're using all the different tools. Now, if you guys are struggling with putting it together, if you guys want more one-on-one coaching, or if you want signals or you want the analysis, you want to join a community, this is going to be, everything in this program. We worked hard to make it the way that it is. As you can see, we get good feedback from it. So if you guys want to take the next step, join, work with me and Nick. I think, the biggest thing me and Nick have seen is the main thing is that it's just networking. So, we've met so many different traders. Some of them at some points do even better than me and Nick, so it's pretty wild.
Yeah, we've literally trained people
Yeah.
so people that have gone through this course, they started out on this analysis, like just like how you guys are viewing now, the Sunday Market Blitz. It serves a purpose, It shows you guys how we analyze the methodical approach that we have to Forex and pretty much breaking everything down pretty simplistically, I think. And if you guys like the way we trade, some members have joined after a Sunday Market Blitz, got into this program, gone through the course in a couple months and became honestly really decent traders. Some both better than us, that have been in the program for a year or so. It's possible, guys. It's just what you really
Yeah.
what you put in is what you really get out.
Really just depends on you guys. So
Yep.
the benefit for me and Nick is to just continue to network, meet new people. Obviously, we're sharing what we know, which is a positive thing as well. But the main thing is just if you guys are beginners, you guys are intermediate, you guys are wherever, you know what I mean, just get around different people, share your ideas. It's ultimately how you're going to get better. So if you guys want to get in on this right now, it is $2.99. It's 40% off. It's one-time lifetime fee, so you guys will always have access. we're always updating it. We're constantly updating it, so it's never going to be outdated.
It's like a live course. It's always being added to. We're making other plans to add to it even weekly. Even more so weekly. I mean, we'll add all these videos in there as well, webinars and such. But it's just constantly growing. It's a never-ending program, if you will, and then it's also entrance into a community that's ever growing. And it's honestly a great place to be. I mean, as Angelo said, the networking really ties it all together. I mean, we have all these mini groups, within the community too, where all these traders took it upon themselves to get talking, and they work off each other, comparing analysis, and that's really at the end of the day what it's all about. Forex shouldn't be a journey you have to do on your own, by yourself or all alone. It's definitely better with a community, with a group of like-minded individuals, for sure.
So for you guys that are watching the recording, hopefully you guys got a lot of value out of this. For everyone that's on the call, we appreciate your support as always. We're going to be back on Tuesday for the next session, Tuesday, 8 a.m. But we do have we do have the live webinar tomorrow. So the live webinar will be tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to cover market structure, entries, risk management, multiple topics. And yeah, so look forward to see you guys in the course. If you guys want to hit us up and secure one of the spots, just message us after the live session, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow.
Take care, guys. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Peace out.